British astronaut to do a spacewalk.
The actual mission was less exciting, a 6-hour job of repairing a broken power unit. But as our science correspondent Thomas Moore reports, Peake had to finish it early because of a water bubble.
Tim, it's really cool seeing that Union Jack go outside since it's explored all over the world. Now it's explored space.
250 miles above northern Australia, and Tim Peake makes history.
It's great to be wearing it. Huge privilege.
The first Brit to venture into the vacuum and carry out a hazardous spacewalk while orbiting the Earth at more than 17,000 miles an hour. With his NASA crewmate Tim Kopra, he hauled himself 60 meters to the very edge of the space station, taking with him a suitcase-sized spare part needed to restore the ISS to full power.
Okay, Tim, I think that's fairly workable bag plan. Okay.
Tim Peake rehearsed for his spacewalk in deep water pools, including this one at the European Astronaut Centre. They mimic the effects of working while weightless and restricted by a pressurized suit.
These suits are inflated. It's very tiring to move around. It's bulky, your movements are limited. For example, if I want to do this movement, I cannot. I have to combine the joints to have a different movement. Otherwise, I will fight against the suit, and the suit will always win.
As darkness fell and the solar panels stopped generating power, the two astronauts had just 31 minutes in the brief nighttime of orbit to replace the failed electrical equipment. Every stage of this spacewalk has been carefully choreographed. The astronauts and mission control are working their way through a 40-page worksheet. And here is a timeline of the 6-hour spacewalk. Every minute is assigned to a task.
And no CO2 symptoms.
With the repair completed, the astronauts returned to the airlock to pick up extra kit for the next job. A wave, and then they went their separate ways. Tim Peake moved underneath the space station to run cables for a new docking station. It's not easy in microgravity. But then, drama.
We already got the location and the quantity. If there's any way to get a temperature of the water, I don't know if you can move it around to get to that, or to try to drink it and note the taste.
The American astronaut felt water inside his helmet, and the spacewalk was swiftly terminated.
It's like a film of water right now. Can you see it? Yeah, I see it. It's a film of water. I mean, it's less than a golf ball, definitely.
Italian Luca Parmitano almost drowned while on a spacewalk, or EVA, while wearing the same suit, and mission control wasn't taking any chances.
The ground team sent the right command right away to terminate the EVA and to go back inside. There was no time wasted, and so to me that proves that we have learned a lot in the 2 years that have passed since my EVA, and that the procedures are in place and everybody knows how to react.
The NASA astronaut made it back inside, alive but perhaps a little shaken. It was an early end to Tim Peake's historic spacewalk, but it was still a success, and with 5 months left of his mission, there's every chance he'll step out into the void once more. Thomas Moore, Sky News, Cologne.
Mike Massimino is a former NASA astronaut who's also a professor of engineering at Columbia University and the first astronaut to tweet in space. He joins us now live from New York. Hello to you, sir, and thank you for joining us on Sky News tonight. OK, so this spacewalk had to be terminated early, but ultimately it's a huge triumph, isn't it, for Tim Peake and indeed for the UK as well?
Yeah, I think for everybody, and I'm really excited for Tim. He certainly is a great guy. I've got a chance to meet him before I left NASA. I think he's a terrific guy. I'm sure everyone in the UK loves him, and if they don't love him, they don't know him yet. And he's just a great astronaut, and I'm very happy that he got a chance to go out and that and your country's flag got to go out into the vacuum of space for the first time. And they got the space station fixed up, too, so it's a good day.
They did that. They managed to accomplish all of that before they had to return. But ultimately, this was cut short because of water in his companion's helmet. How serious is that?
Well, it could be pretty serious. It's going to be interesting to see what pans out over the next few days and weeks when they investigate this. But there was a pretty serious problem with water in the helmet. An Italian astronaut, Luca Parmitano, a few years ago, accumulated a lot of water in his helmet, and it was probably the most life-threatening situation we had on a spacewalk. We thought we had that problem licked, and there's also a backup plan or a auxiliary breathing apparatus in case this happens again. I don't think they've had any traces of water in the helmet since that time, but we've had some today. So it was just a little bit. They knew enough about the problem to know that if they saw a little bit of water, they needed to come in. The good news is that because they knew this was a problem, they were able to cut it short and get everything done ahead of time. So that was really good. It was fortunate that the problem occurred after the spacewalk was successful.
Indeed. But you've done this so many times, and you know there's so much that goes into the preparations, isn't there, when you do a spacewalk like this, from ensuring you've got the right kind of clothing to the right training to even reading through all the pages and pages of script.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of training. You know, you mentioned in your program how Tim did some training in the pool. He did a lot of training in Houston as well. We do a lot of training in different facilities to get ready for this. But the thing to remember, it's an open book exam. So you have a checklist and you have friends to help you inside of the spacecraft and on the Earth in the Mission Control Center. It's a big team effort, but there's plenty of help in case you need it, and you certainly do need it. But it's a pretty big task to do, but they did a great job. I'm really proud of everybody.
It's a huge task. Well, what does it feel like when you make that first step?
Oh, it's incredible. It is really I think it's the coolest thing people can do. I mean, going into space is really cool. And getting a chance to spacewalk, I think, is the ultimate. Because you're not just looking through a window any longer. Now you're looking through just the bubble of your spacesuit. You feel like you're a real spaceman or spacewoman, depending. And you can turn your head in any direction. You can view the Earth, you can view the stars, you can see the universe right there in front of you. And you're inside your own little spacesuit, your own little spaceship. It is an extraordinary experience. I'm really interested to see what Tim has to say about it, because he is a very eloquent young man, and I know he was looking forward to it and excited about it. So I think you're going to have some pretty good interviews with him coming up to learn about his experiences. But it is just extraordinary to get to. It is a gift to get a chance to see our planet and our universe from a spacewalk. Is, I think, the greatest thing that you could do. It is just an extraordinary experience. And
you yourself made history by making the first tweet in space. Do you think that's changed the way that various audiences see space exploration?
I think it was fun to be the first person to tweet, and you know, I just tweeted about Tim today a couple times, so I'm really excited to be able to tweet about him. And if anyone's interested, I'm at @Astro_Mike is my Twitter handle, and it's a great way to communicate the experience. You know, when I was a little boy, I'm old enough to remember Neil Armstrong taking those first steps. I was a little boy, 6 years old, but I got to see that on my television. And now what I think is exciting about the people around the world, the young people all over the world, including those in the UK, of course, can learn about Tim Peake and what he did in space by going on the internet and following him on social media and those sorts of things. So I think it's great to be able to share information and share experiences through social media. And I was the guinea pig. I was the first one to get a chance to do it. So I was happy to do it.
And we know you've already got an astronomical, no pun intended, following on Twitter, and it sounds like you may get a few more as a result. Mike, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Congratulations to you and all of your fellow citizens there in the UK, and to Tim. This is a really good day.
You're very kind. Thank you. And if you'd like to find out why astronauts perform spacewalks and how they can go wrong, we have a video explainer on our website. Go to news.sky.com and click on Spacewalks, how they work.